Good evening, everyone. The USA Trucks West Coast this time takes it to Pikes Peak International Raceway based out of Colorado. And it's been a pretty interesting season so far as we've seen 5 different winners in the first 5 races. And those 5 winners being the '07 of Cash, the '21 of Trevor Walker, the '90 of Tom Cording, followed by the '88 of Tom Hagen, and the '98 of Krista Kaur. So those 5 different winners in our first 5 races. Could we possibly see 6 different winners rolling out of Colorado here tonight? And we've already got someone at the front here that hasn't won a race yet, so perhaps maybe it's Kyler Sestre that'll find his way to victory lane. Tom Cording doing just what he always does, starting up front here in these things. Then behind them, we've got the '09 of Matthew Fastnot and the '12 of Chris Harvey. Harvey's going to be a fun one to watch because we might have an opportunity for a Honda to get their first win in the USA Trucks, as we've already seen Chevy and Subaru do. In the third row, you've got the '85 of Brian DeBlanc and the '27 of Philip Leeds. The 14 of Adam Starr and the '88 of John Hagen. The 21 of Trevor Walker and the 45 of Tyler Shangle. The 9 of Alan Malcolm and the '98 of Krista Kaur. The 32 of Belafon and the 36 of Lucas Holmes. The '07 of Cash and the '77 of Bob Leader here today. Dalton Scott and Dave Steele Jr. The '69 of Braden Hunt alongside Josh Gaiman. Paul Ladino and Monty Shangle. Jacob Shangle and Silas Huddleston. Alan Chavot and Gavin Legend. Anheuser Wagner and Nate Newman. Craig Popkris and Lotus King. Driver Roach and Josh Drake. With Luis Rodriguez and Trevor Vaden. Jamison Thole and Chasey Plays. Nathan Mann and Al Bunch. Daniel Paulus and Luke, with Kat Durham and the 3 of William Kinsella Jr. rounding out the back end of the field. So, a relatively unknown track on the circuit here, as we haven't hosted any races in the USA Trucks at Pikes Peak. So, no record books to go off of. Whoever gets the win here today will be the inaugural winner here at Pikes Peak International Raceway. Cannon, you're in the East Coast, so you're not in the West Coast, unfortunately. The green flag waves, and they're off and rolling here at Pikes Peak. Ooh, and already 3 wide for the lead as Matthew Fastnot makes it 3 wide here with the 2 leaders. Tom Cording figures that he's going to kind of lay up here on that high side. Not the preferred line to be in. And Fastnot off to an early lead here. Chris Harvey making a pass. And there we go, we got an attempt at the lead here for Tom Cording. He does not want to be upstaged by his brother Tim, who has gone on to win 3 races on the East Coast already. Got a little bit of catching up to do with his brother in the win department this season. as he's only secured 1 win so far. But man, that would be a story if we've got the Courting brothers just duking it out back and forth for wins every week. With tonight's race here at Pikes Peak, that'll round out what I had plotted out for the schedule, with the modified schedule off of the original. We've got now football on the horizon, so Thursdays are going to be a little bit harder, I feel, to make work. So going forward, I'll have a new scheduled plan for the rest of the races up for everyone on the server tonight. Kind of get an idea of when to expect the races to be run. I'm often a very busy individual through and through, so finding the right time is going to be a little bit harder going forward. Here we go, a change for the lead as Trevor Walker now gets by Tom Courting. 2 drivers that have a win on the season already, duking it out for the lead. Impressively though, Matthew Fastnot showing some strength here in 3rd. I would not count him out of the mix. Chris Harvey as well. What has been the trend with Honda, it seems like they start off strong and start to lose momentum towards the end of the race. So we'll see if perhaps that is the case. You know, every race is different, obviously, but there could be something to it with these long runs and Honda having not the right setup. Four trucks all within one spot of each other here, really blanketed. How about Trevor Walker at the front of the field? Here we go, we got Fastnot getting on the inside. Yeah, I knew waiting for the football game to finish was a great idea so that everyone else could tune in. It was a good football game, I must say. Surprised that Kansas City started off with a loss on the year. That's kind of a shocker. I am a closet Lions fan, even though I'm a Seattle Seahawks guy through and through. There's really not any teams that I dislike unless your team has the name the Patriots. Then, yeah, I'm not a big Patriots fan. And for a while there, I was starting to dislike the Packers, but now that they don't have Aaron Rodgers, we'll see on the Packers bandwagon. Who knows? And like dominant teams in the football, we've got our dominant teams here in the USA Trucks, amazing as it is. It's been an interesting start to the season where we've seen some parity on the West Coast and utter dominance on the East Coast. It's kind of a breath of fresh air here on the West Coast, seeing different folks up front leading and winning. And a lot of unknown here with a track that's never been contested before in the USA Trucks. I really liked the Chargers when they had Phillip Rivers. That was definitely my favorite era of the Chargers. They're pretty good now with he looks like Axel from The Middle, or not The Middle. Is that the name of the show? The Middle, I think, is the show. I keep saying he looks like Axel. Almost to the point where I can't even remember his name. I'm sure someone will correct me on the comment section as to who the quarterback is for the well, I was about to say the San Diego Chargers, but they are now the LA Chargers, of course. So that's my era of the. I'm still a Chargers fan today too. Like I said, I don't discriminate. I'm a big fan of any football team that's not named the Patriots. I think this will be fun that my broadcasts are going to be a little bit more kick back, relaxed during the football season because it gives me a little bit more to talk about. This year I'm actually doing a fantasy football league, which I haven't done in over 2 years now. So that's going to be fun to keep an eye on football for me. And I'll actually be following it much closer than I usually do. I wonder if my mic is too far from my head. How about now? My broadcasts are going to be a little bit more kickback. Also, don't mind me, my sinus congestion. I was out mowing yard earlier, and the grass clippings are really kicking my butt. And the rest of the field is getting their butt kicked by Trevor Walker right now. Kind of settled out, single file here for the time being, as Trevor leads over Tom, Fastnot, Harvey, Starr, DeBlank, and Hagen. Alan Malcolm, newcomer to the series here, already setting a pretty solid pace in that 9 truck. Our race winner from last week, Krista Kaur, was running some stats the other day and found out that she has the most DNFs in the USA Truck Series, which is a very unwanted statistic, but still she is the grand holder of it. And then we've got Dave Steele Jr. here, who had a resurgence after joining Trackhouse B on the service. Trackhouse is given a second extension to get this truck team going, and we're seeing some strength from the 22 camp. Obviously, with the West Coast, as we've seen 5 different winners, it's going to be harder for someone to point their way in. We've already had 5 people lock their way in of the top 10 that can lock their way in to the W Chase. And so that means as of right now, 5 people would point their way in with the 5 folks that have already won. But signs are kind of pointing towards tonight that we might see a repeat winner on the season, as Trevor Walker has gotten a win already, as well as Tom Cording, who's running second to him. You never know, though, with strategies, and if we go long green flag run, that pit stops might change all of that. Let's go through the field here. Brought to you by Geico. Bob Leader in 12th. Tyler Shangle making a move here to get up to 13th as he gets by Bella Fawn there. Fawn falls back to 14th. Braden Hunt about to make a pass here. This will put him up to 14th. He's in a serious must-win situation to get to those playoffs, get to the chase, as he switched from the East Coast over to the West Coast here. And the only rule that if a driver switches divisions, they've got to win their way in rather than point their way in to the chase. Then you got Dalton Scott, Cash. Cash is definitely going to be counting their blessings that they got a win at the start of the season. That truck has not been looking as prominent week in, week out right now. So that one win locking them in might have been their one ticket to the playoffs. Al Bunch is 41st, one lap down, so he must have made a pit stop to fall this far off the pace. Seems that LFG Motorsports still working out the kinks in this Honda program. Seems to be said every night when the team's out there running. Eventually the stars will align and they'll get back to performing like we know they can. Josh Gaiman in 18th. Lucas Holmes up to 19th. And Silas Huddleston in 20th. Decent run for Alan Chavot, who we've seen run outside the back 30. Currently in the top 25. Trevor Vaden in a one-off start here. He's eventually going to get worked up into a full-time ride here in the USA Trucks. However, on the East Coast. So he's still looking and searching at the moment. But all signs point towards him getting a full-time ride for the remainder of the season. And then the pace is truly dropped way off at the back of the field there, as Trevor Walker still leading the way here on lap 32. Am I just a big idiot, or is there a way that I can actually check the accounts that like videos, because I've never been able to figure out how or who likes each video on my my channel. If anyone else knows, please do let me know. But otherwise, I don't really know how to if that stat's even available for consumer viewing, or if that's just one of those, you know, well-kept secrets on YouTube that YouTube knows about. Tom Cording in second, still about the same pace behind the 21 truck. And then we've got Chris Harvey, who's worked his way up to third here. And lap traffic now has become a factor here, as Tom Cording might be able to capitalize and make a move here on Trevor Walker. It only took us 37 laps, and now lap traffic is in the way. Ooh, side by side for the lead. I don't know if he's going to be able to make the move there, as the 99 truck becomes a pick to block that momentum. Tom Cording running solid there. This is going to be a dogfight for the lead. 3 truck slows the pace of the 21, and here comes Tom Cording again with a massive charge on the inside. That 90 truck giving it full head of steam here on the backstretch, going into turn 3. And Tom Cording is going to take the lead here. We'll see for how long. Trevor Walker gets bested due to lap traffic there in front of him. And this may even give the likes of Chris Harvey and Fastnot a chance to catch up. And that has really slowed up the roll for Trevor Walker, as Tom Cording's starting to stretch it out on him. Currently, as they run, it looks like Chris Harvey is still about 3 seconds back, though, so still really only a 2-truck fight at the front of the field. Pikes Peak, definitely a very fascinating, a very interesting track, with only being a little over 1 mile in distance. You don't see very many tracks that are 1 mile in length. This one being precisely 1.016 of a mile. And it seems like it's setting up for a good race here today, as we've seen at least a couple swaps for the lead. Initially, we saw Matthew Fastnot lead the first couple laps on what looked like a killer start, where he went 3 wide for the lead. But since then, kind of our tried and true veterans of the sport have found their way to the front, and Trevor Walker has led, as well as now Tom Cording leading the way. Plenty of thanks to everyone that did like the video. I will upgrade your ratings after the race. I'll get last night's race and this race both compiled together, and you'll see the upgrade channel back alive again. I think that's kind of thrown people off, because everyone sees the upgrades going up in the channel and they're like, can I do upgrades? Why are people getting upgrades? What's going on? So it's kind of funny how, with my idea of getting the you know, participation in the video to upgrade your ratings, has actually gotten more people tuned in. So that, I think I'm going to keep utilizing only, you know, and maybe next week I'll turn it off, and maybe then I'll turn it back on in a couple races after that. So right now I'm just test trialing it, and then after that it's going to be totally random. But seems like it's working so far, getting people excited about the race. Glad you guys can tune in. But yes, as to answer the questions that I've been getting regularly, the earning system is down still. It'll be down until the 1st of January. But that doesn't mean upgrades aren't going to be a thing. So during those, you know, off months when we don't have the earning system in play, everyone's still going to have a shot to chime in and get bonus upgrades that they may not have expected to get in the first place. So, and we need to start seeing some other people at the front of the field that's not Tom Cording and Trevor Walker. I mean, that's not a jab at the two. Those two have really put the time and effort to get these trucks running as strong as they have. But it'd be fun to see even likes of, I don't know, like, for example, Chasey Plays there has been struggling on the circuit, getting lapped right there. Just be fun to see different people running towards the front of the field. Walker definitely closing the gap. Kind of an accordion effect going on here as Tom Cording starts to stretch it out again, though. Ooh, and a lot of slower traffic towards the front end of that lead pack here. This is going to give Tom Cording a little bit of trouble. As you can see, those three trucks are like a log jam. Must say, so far with our split of our USA trucks into an East and a West division, and over 84 drivers running between the two series, It's been a massive success for this USA Trucks. The growth has been exponential, and really my next step is trying to figure out, if we get more people joining, how do we go about fielding a truck for them? As each field right now sits at 42 apiece, it's just crazy how big this thing has grown. I've noticed, yeah, Pikes has had some struggles, whether it comes to the IRL days that I saw him, or even in the Carsland Cup Series and their affiliate, different feeder series that are contested. So that's for sure. Tom Cording closing up on that 46 truck, about to put him a lap down. Yeah, I can totally relate with that. I've had the expansion from the Cup and Bush to now the trucks and ARCA, and in the planning for an IROC series. But the IROC series really isn't an expansion of sorts. It's more of a display of what talent we've got in our series. So yeah, and the Bush League, the Bush Light series will come back. It's gonna be it'll be back in full force in 2024. And I haven't really gotten to talk to James about it, but it seems like James is interested in taking over full jurisdiction of the Bush series. So kind of planning on a revamped Bush series where the incentive would be win and you're into the Cup series. So it'll be smaller field for the Bush series, likely a 10 to 15 car field, but it'll be the elite of the elite that have come from the trucks, ARCA, whatever it might be, that have yet to make it to the Cup series. Yes, we do have an IROC series in the discussions, and I'm planning on having Brian DeBlank kind of man the ship on that one. So there's a lot of moving pieces, and just mostly me trying to find the time to get things kind of figured out. The 58 of Trevor Vaden, we'll see if perhaps it's a 98% damage to the engine, so that's going to be a day ender for him. And we do get a caution because of this. So with a caution here on lap 62, we're going to see our first round of pit stops here. The 90 of Tom Cording coming down pit road, 21, 12. Looks like all of our leaders coming down pit road here. So this will give us an interesting restart. Had a couple drivers drop out with mechanical failure, it looks like. Give the wave around to a couple drivers here as well as soon as we get back around to the recycle of pit stops. So yeah, no, as I was saying, we do have an IROC series in the plan. I'm kind of planning on making the 200 subscriber all-star race, the special event that's still in the works, be the premiere for that IROC series, as we will be using the IROC base and mod to host that all-star race. And then once that all-star race is finished, we will kind of keep the remaining, all the ARCA seats, or IROC seats, my bad, and use those paints and whatnot again for future IROC races. Yeah, if you want to sign Trevor Vaden, I would probably throw up a offer to him in the driver chat on the server. Give him a shout out. Just add him and say, hey, we know you want to compete for a team that's going to win races. How would you like to join Trevor Ventures? And perhaps if he knows the caliber of trucks and talent that's been through through the Trevor Ventures program, maybe he'll be interested to hop in a Toyota. So the 89 gets the wave around. Alrighty. Alrighty, so the lights are off on the pace truck. Trevor Walker, and now starting outside of him, we're going to have a failed restart here. Hold on 1 second. Wave off that restart. Wave it off. That was a bad restart on the AI. We've been having situations where that happens and the leaders get penalized for the infraction of jumping the start. So I still don't exactly know what's causing that. It's got to be within the better cautions EXE for the game, but figure if it does that, we'll just wave the yellow and reset it. They will take their penalty for jumping the start. So unfortunately for Trevor Walker and Chris Harvey, they're going to have to go back to the back of the field. They're going to serve their quick stop and go here. And that'll put Brian DeBlank to the lead. Brian DeBlank, Adam Starr, and John Hagen running 1, 2, 3. And so now we'll go ahead and remove pace lap. So the lights should turn off on the pace truck next time by. Yeah, I was almost willing to vow off short tracks on the series because it's had so many troubles with better cautions. And I was almost afraid to even use better cautions here because I wasn't sure if this is technically a short track or if it's an intermediate. Being at the 1 mile mark, it's hard to say because track like Phoenix is considered a short track. But You know, it's like, is it a short track or is it more of an intermediate, like a 1.5 mile track is considered intermediate? I don't know. No matter what, I think Dover is still classified as a short track, and so therefore anything 1 mile in length should be classified as a short track, but that's like a whole there's probably scientific studies done on that I can't even fathom to understand what justifies a short track when we've got something like Nashville Super Speedway that's not even 2 miles in length. So restart going here. Brian DeBlank and Adam Starr at the front. John Hagen goes low. It's going to be 3 wide for the lead. Tom Corden giving a push to John Hagen. This could give Hagen the lead here on lap 70. Hagen's got the preferred line here, going deep. DeBlank holding solid on the outside, though. A little bit more momentum from that 90 truck is going to give the 88 a push to the lead here. Oh, and now we have a caution again already? Holy cow. Okay, yep, we got a wrecker here on lap 70. Looks like the 86 of Josh Drake, perhaps. Oh, and Trevor Walker involved in this one, too. Oh, that's not good. Having to come from the back of the field here. Gets 3 wide for position alongside Chasey Plays and Luis Rodriguez. Getting back with the squirrels, you're going to get your nuts smashed. Ooh, Chris Harvey clips the side of the 21 there. So that was just an unfortunate chain of events for our previous leader here in the race, as now Trevor Walker gets spun out on the backstretch. So that'll give us another restart here. It's going to keep things very interesting here for the race tonight, and it's only just more on par for the action that we've seen here on the West Coast. The expect the unexpected, that's going to become the catchphrase for the West Coast division of the USA Trucks. While on the other hand, the East Coast is to expect the expected. Seems that Trevor Walker is still about, not out of the race. He's still going to keep running, but we'll see how well that truck runs after the damage sustained in that wreck. Still only 2 trucks out of the race so far. The 58 with a severe mechanical failure and the 24 with a gearbox failure. So Kyler Sestre went from pole position to 42nd. It's definitely a bummer for that team having pole with good hopes of getting a good finish here today, but possibly pushing that engine just a little bit too hard, blowing it up. John Hagen and Brian DeBlank get to restart here side by side. One of the fun things that we've seen with the restarts here is they're not afraid to make it 3 wide into turn 1. So it's almost a guarantee that we'll see Tom Corden push the envelope going 3 wide into the first turn on the restart here. It's just a matter of who comes out on top with the lead. Okay, looks like we're going to have a proper start here. No NR 2003 shenanigans where we'll have to reset it. Ooh, and DeBlanc with one hell of a start there as the green flag waves. It's going to be 3 wide for second place instead. Oh, John Hagen bobbled there just a bit getting into Adam Starr. And don't look now, but Krista Kaur, after winning last week, wanting to come back to the front of the field and possibly get win number 2. But currently, the lead belongs to Brian DeBlanc, who has been snake bitten so many times, whether it be the USA Trucks or the Sylvania Busch Light Series. Matthew Fastnot trying to thread the needle there between the two SSRI Subarus. Looks like he's going to make the move and stick the landing as he's now up to 4th. Fastnot's career has been somewhat of an anomaly. We've seen some strikes of brilliance in a very, very scattered form, you know, and we've seen some very terribly bad luck for that 09 team. But the beautiful thing about racing is any given day they can turn that luck around and improve upon their situation and get better results. A victory for DeBlanc would be like the Chicago Cubs ending a 116-year drought. That might be a little bit exaggerated, but I'm sure it would feel just as good as a 116-year drought for the Cubbies. Brian DeBlanc has been putting his blood, sweat, and tears into making this truck a contender, and I think it's finally paid off, as we can see that Brian DeBlanc is coming to throw down here in the USA Trucks this year after a switch from Ford to Chevy. And what most people would have been arguing the fact that that was a downgrade. Our defending champion was in a Ford with Tim Cording. So why would you be going from the success of Ford to the goose egg camp where Chevy had 0 wins altogether at the start of the season? Why would you do that? But perhaps, you know, the right minds in place and the right people in the right seats. It seems like Chevy's kind of finding their groove here and giving them other manufacturers a run for their money. DeBlanc's got a whole bunch of Tom Cording there on his back bumper. He's going to have to defend a hard-charging number 90 truck here. Doing solidly so far, keeping that 90 truck behind him. Seems that Chris Harvey got a lot more damage than first anticipated. Currently running 39th, laps down. 38th for Trevor Walker. So from running 1-2 to now tying up the back 2 on the field as they run. Alan Chavot with a good run going, still in the top 20 here. We could potentially see one of his best finishes in the USA Trucks that he has put together. teammate trucks running back and forth there as Chavot and Gaiman teammates for TKM. Tim Cording and his Total Knockout Motorsports. Here we go. Fastnot making a move here for third on John Hagen. If the dominoes fall the right way, Fastnot could be looking at a good finish here today. In the meantime, I think we got to switch for the lead. Yeah, as we've got Brian DeBlank now getting passed by Tom Cording. It's really getting pretty compact here at the front of the field as the 90, 85, the 09, 88, even the 98, all within the same stretch of land of each other. I did not anticipate this race to be as long as it's going to be. We're not even halfway and we're just short of an hour into this one, so looking like we might have a 2-hour race on our hands here. But I think it's going to allow for a lot of storylines to play out that otherwise might not have played out in like 150 laps or less. I think DeBlank is kind of saving his stuff right now. He's not showing his hand. He wants to try and make a later charge for the end of the race. So saving those tires, maybe saving that engine to give it hell at the end of this one. There's really no reason to try and win it here on lap 88. Especially if we get more cautions that we've been very likely to get so far. We get some more cautions before the end of this one. But kudos to Matthew Fastnot on a third place run so far. In the mix with some of the defending winners on the season, such as John Hagen and Tom Cording. He's even besting Krista Kaur. Trying to see where our other winners are. We know that the 21 of Trevor Walker pretty deep in the field after that wreck that he got involved in. Trevor at this point is going to be hoping that a couple more trucks get knocked out, whether it be attrition or wrecks, so that he can gain some more spots. But there we go, our top three, Tom Cording, DeBlank, and Fastnot. Wow, Fastnot even trying to make a move up to second here as he's getting alongside Brian DeBlank. We're going to have to keep an eye on Fastnot here to see if his pace is actually in line with the 90 truck. As they run side by side, that's only slowing both of them from catching up to the 90. Definitely some good racing for position here. DeBlanc is not wanting to let Fastnot get by him, but I think Fastnot might have the advantage here with a little bit of draft from John Hagen. Going into turn 2, coming out of turn 2, neck to neck. These two trucks not wanting to give an inch as they're fighting hard for that second place position. But that's only allowing Tom Cording to drive away deeper and deeper from the field. As Fastnot, it looks like, might be getting the job done here finally. His back wheel is pretty much level with the front wheel of the 85, and now vice versa. His front wheel is about level with the back wheel of the 85. This is allowing the rest of the field to get bunched up behind them as Krista Kaur trying to make a move on John Hagen. Tyler Shangle now in the picture. Got to give the hard grit award there to Brian DeBlanc for fighting so hard for that second position. He knows that if he loses second, that's going to be that much harder for him to reel back in the leader for the win. And here we go, that battle with DeBlanc and Fastnot still very highly contested. Fastnot is just continuing to beat down on the morale of the 85 truck there, try to get that position and steal it. Every time we think he's going to get it done, it seems that DeBlanc grabs an extra gear and gets back by. Fastnot in front of him for now. The outside line has been the great equalizer here, as we've seen so many back and forth passes here. But I think Fastnot's going to get it secured, as DeBlanc's even going to drop another spot back to 4th. Lap traffic becomes a factor again, of course. Tom Cording running a 29-second lap. 28.7 there. Compare that to the 28.9 of Matthew Fastnot. Just a little bit over halfway as we're 105 of 200. Very likely that we'll see drivers having to make another pit stop before the end of this one, whether it's due to a caution or if it's under green flag conditions like this. New third place driver with Tyler Shangle. DeBlanc about to lose another spot here. It seems that struggling here on the long run, that 85 truck. Krista Kaur is going to secure if Tom Cording pulls it off here tonight, that would mean that we could only have 10 different winners in the 11 race regular season at this point if we get a repeat winner here tonight. And would only kind of help enforce the idea that we could have some people point their way in to the W chase. But there's still a lot of racing to go here. Just about 90 laps to go for that 90 truck to get the victory if he does so happen to pull it off. Most of the times in racing, it's not the fastest truck that always wins. With our fastest lap here tonight, it was Trevor Walker. Unfortunately, he got tangled up in a wreck, so not fighting for the win here towards the latter half. Still had a good run started at the beginning and only continues to prove his asserted dominance in the field amongst the rest of the West Coast division. Tom Cording has been very dominant here today too. We saw basically Tom Cording and Trevor Walker duking it out for the win at the very beginning. And now it's up to Tom Cording to hold off the likes of Matthew Fastnot, Tyler Shangle, Brian DeBlanc, and Krista Kaur. Braden Hunt up to 7th. Impressive run for him. Fastnot's got some clear track in front of him for now with a lot of drafting help there from Tyler Shangle. Wow, that was a hairy situation for Tom Cording there as that 3 truck got way slowed up. We're now in a hornet's nest of lap traffic as our leaders have to navigate their way around them. Thanks for tuning in, John Hagen. Glad you could make it. Currently, you're in the top 10, it looks like, so running about 6th. Yep, 6th. Right behind our last week's winner, Krista Kaur. Brian DeBlank in front of the two of you. Tyler Shangle, Matthew Fastnot. And Fastnot's trying to hunt down the leader, Tom Cording. This USA Truck Series has been synonymous with the name Cording. 3 wins from his brother Tim on the East Coast. 1 win from Tom on the West Coast here. But he's going to try to get more than 1 win here, it looks like. We're going to see, though, if it's going to be a battle of wills. Who's going to want it worse? Does Matthew Fastnot want to break out and get his first win in, I think, believe it or not, his first win in the USA Trucks? He's had some good runs here and there, but I do not believe he's actually won in the USA Trucks yet. Stats guy could probably correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. But right now, fighting for the lead, he's going to take it from Tom Cording. Or at least make it interesting trying. I'm going to delve back into the databases here a little bit as they're fighting side by side to see whether or not yes, so Fastnot had 0 wins in the 2023 winter campaign. And the only other season contested for the USA Trucks. Okay, so he did have 1 win in 2022, but it's been a year since he's last seen victory lane. Still very much case in point, the 09 truck is hungry for a win. We know that Tom Cording's already been to victory lane this year, so may not be as hungry as that number 09 Toyota Tundra behind him. It's going to be a battle of who wants it the worst. And I think the pieces and everything, the puzzle put together here, the stars aligned, it's all coming together for Matthew Fastnot in what could be a very special race for him. He kind of snuck on the inside of the 90, but never fully took the lead away from him. We saw DeBlank kind of fall into this, where then eventually the whole truck just fell away from him. So hopefully Fastnot is doing his homework right here and won't make the same mistakes as the 85 truck, falling off the precipice, falling off the cliff of car control, or rather truck control. They get by the lap traffic here of Lucas Holmes. And how iconic too, it's the 90 versus the 09, the invert of each other. 09 versus the 90. So it only remains 26 trucks on the lead lap, as 27th on back has been lapped at least once or twice or more. Top 5 have stayed relatively unchanged, with Tom Cording, Fastnot, Tyler Shangle, Brian DeBlanc, and Krista Kaur. Braden Hunt continues to make some moves as he's now up to 6th. John Hagen back to 7th. Dave Steele Jr. in 8th. The 77 of Bob Leader now up to 9th. And Adam Starr running 10th. Then you've got Philip Leeds, Belafon, Alan Malcolm, Cash, and Dalton Scott rounding out your top 15. And still an impressive run from Alan Chavot, who's running 16th right now. Chavot with likely his best career result here today, if he can maintain that position and finish there. Shout out to the 5 folks that are still staying up for the late race here tonight. Sorry it's so late. With the football game, I didn't want to try to compete against... Oh, we have a truck blowing up right there in front of Fastnot. Might possibly bring out the caution if Gavin Legend can't get back around. Yep, and the caution comes out, so we'll have another restart here for another shot at a couple drivers to get back by Tom Cording. But rest assured, I'm going to try to incorporate the schedule with the idea of what's going on each week. So Thursdays are going to be out of the topic for the time being as football season gets underway. It's just going to be, it won't seem feasible to me to run on Thursdays unless the races are shorter and I can somehow do it before football or do it, quickly after the football. What this will entail, I'm not certain yet, because we'll still have to have 2 races a week. Maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, which those will be kind of the 10 Eastern Time, 10:30 Eastern Time start window for the most part on Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursdays were ideal for me since I get off work at 5, and so 8:30 Eastern Time, much better than a 10:30 Eastern Time start schedule. And for me, being on the Pacific Standard Time, it really kind of, yeah. I'm still awake. I'm a night owl while everyone else is going to bed. But it could be maybe Wednesday, Fridays, maybe some Saturdays here and there for some special events. Not a whole lot's happened in the last 25 laps. It's been a lot of follow the leader, as Tom Cording has led all of that last stretch from the caution that we just previously had to this one here. We did see quite a run from Matthew Fastnot as he moved from 5th up to 4th, 4th up to 3rd, and then even 3rd up to 2nd, and tried to contest for the lead against Tom Cording. The two of them got side by side at one point, but Tom Cording kind of stretched it back out on him. So I would put some money down on Matthew Fastnot, as I am sure he is very eager to get a win here tonight. Only one win in his U.S. Trucks career, way back in 2022. So he's got a pretty standard winless streak going, and would love to break that winless streak here tonight at Pikes Peak International Raceway. So another truck drops out with mechanical failure, as the 89 of Gavin Legend had a clutch failure. That'll leave us with 39 trucks left running. Even Trevor Walker has been able to gain some spots with the damage on his truck. He's been fast enough to get by a few of the other lap trucks, and he's currently running 30th, 1 lap down. So if we have another wreck here, Trevor Walker could walk away gaining some more spots. They're going to get double filed up here for the restart. Tom Cording and Fastnot will be side by side here. Tyler Shangle behind the two of them. Okay, we got an official restart. Nothing wonky here. Brian DeBlanc on the outside. I'm about 50-50 on the wager that Tyler's going to make it 3 wide going into turn 1. Green flag waves. Wow, that was a late restart, as they were right on the start-finish line when they got going. They did not want to get called for an illegal start. And look at that. Matthew Fastnot muscles his way around the outside of Tom Cording to take the lead. That was a stellar restart for the 09 truck to steal the lead away from Tom Cording in style. Now Tyler Shangle in 3rd, looking to try and make it interesting here. That was the restart of a century for Matthew Fastnot, if I do say so myself. Brian DeBlanc now trying to fight for 3rd. As we've got true parity at the front of the field, we've got a Toyota leading over a Ford, Dodge, Chevy, Subaru. The only one not represented is the Honda. which you'd have to look a lot deeper in the field to find our lone Hondas. 32 of Belafon running 12th in this hornet's nest of 3 wide action. Trevor Walker is probably crossing his fingers hoping that these folks wreck so that he can gain a couple more spots. Starts to settle down here, it looks like, in the mid-pack. And our leaders kind of get single filed out here as Fastnot leads the way over Tom Cording. I'm surprised that Matthew Fastnot must be off to bed. He's going to be truly delighted if he wakes up to find that he's had such a good run here tonight. Going to add him so that he gets at least some recognition on the server. Dave Steele Jr. really giving this Trackhouse B team a run here today. Up to 7th right now. Top 10, maybe even a top 5 within the cards. That 22 truck looking solid. Whoops, and now we've got to fight for the lead again as Tom Cording gets alongside Matthew Fastnot. It was a matter of time before this happened again. That 90 truck is just stout. But Fastnot's not going to go down without a fight here. Rough there as that 09 truck gets loose and the 90 takes advantage of it. Now we've got a 3 truck fight for the win here. Tyler Shangle, a very, very proven driver within the Nasser world of racing. A Sylvania Cup champion and the winningest driver in the Sylvania Cup series by far, with about 35 wins plus. He is yet to win a USA Trucks race, as this is kind of the new frontier for the Nasser series. But given, putting his name in the hat here today with a potential good run in that 45 truck, as he's going to get alongside Matthew Fastnot here going through the backstretch, going on into turn 2. Fastnot settles back in front of him. Fastnot trying to rack up the momentum here again to try and get back by Cording. Lap traffic might be a help here. Oh, and they both get bunched up. This is only going to allow Tyler Shangle to close that gap again. Some great racing at the front of the field here as we have 49 laps to go. Pikes Peak was uncertain. We didn't know what to expect here today, but this is a track that I would likely put back on the schedule for return, as we've seen a lot of good racing. We've seen some mechanical failures, which is not always common when it comes to NR 2003 tracks. So it kind of spices things up when we get a little bit of attrition, have some mechanical failures that kind of throw everyone a curveball. Krista Kaur, your winner last week, looking to rebound for a top 5 here. Running 4th. Braden Hunt 5th. Philip leads up to 6th. And Adam Starr running 7th. So all of SSRI Subaru running nose to tail for position. That's going to help with the team standings, definitely, as Subaru in their maiden voyage get a win in the series, and being one of the pioneering Subaru teams looking to get solid top 10 finishes through and through with all their drivers. John Hagen holds up the top 10 position right now. We've got a battle between Malcolm and Steele. It's a lot of flair brought to the field here, as these are two drivers that are kind of surprising everyone with the speed and skill that they're putting down. Steele making a move on Hagen. That would put Steele up to the top 10. And for example, Dave Steele Jr. would still very much be eligible to point his way in, whereas some drivers like Braden Hunt cannot point his way in. So even if Dave Steele Jr. fails to get a win, he can still point his way into the chase. And obviously, the way things are going right now, we might have a repeat winner within the next couple weeks, if not tonight. Tom Cording, very, very strong at the front of the field, but he is not able to get away from Matthew Fastnot. Fastnot has given him every run for his money at the front of the field here. Yet again, I apologize because I am dealing with congestion, and I'm sure everyone can relate to some degree, whether or not you get congested or have been sick and have dealt with congestion. So it's not often that you see two trucks within a chance of winning it at the end of a race like this. 9 times out of 10, you usually see the leader kind of walk away with it. So this is a treat for us that we've actually got a fighter for the win with less than 50 laps to go. We are down to 35 laps to go here. And these two trucks not faltering towards the end. Good question on that one. I do not know if they actually have to pit again. With the strategy at hand, I do believe they'll probably be able to make it to the end without pitting. As the cautions fell the way they did, everyone should be good to go. It's going to be pretty close, though. We'll see. Fastnot really giving Tom Cording all he can handle here. That 90 truck is doing everything in his power to defend the position. As you can see there, it looks like lap traffic slowing up the 90 a little bit. The speed on Fastnot, he has closed the gap. But now executing the pass is what's going to be the make or break deal here. If he can make the pass, catching him's one thing, passing him is a whole nother. For those of you tuning in now towards the end of this one, you haven't missed a whole lot. We've had a few cautions, most of which were due to trucks with mechanical failures that stalled on track to bring out that caution. If you missed it earlier in the race, Trevor Walker and Chris Harvey got relegated to the back of the field after a failed restart where they got sent to serve a stop-and-go penalty. And towards the back of the field, they had to deal with the chaos that was running with those other trucks, get caught in a wreck, and that's really the only key wreck in the race here tonight. As Fastnot gets alongside Tom Cording here, 99 of Daniel Paulus is going to be a champ and block the run of the 90 for Fastnot. Fastnot uses that 99 truck as a pick. And there we go, Fastnot to the lead. And with 29 laps to go, there's really not a whole lot of racing left in this one. But yeah, no, from the start of the race, we saw Trevor Walker and Tom Cording kind of dominate the start of it. And since Trevor Walker got knocked out, it's been the Tom Cording show. But the feel-good story has been Matthew Fastnot, who kind of came out of the shadows here tonight. Did not expect to see a good run from that 09 truck. He's been fast. I mean, Tom Cording has been fast, but Fastnot has been just a little bit faster. One of the restarts, he was in 5th and picked off each driver one by one as he worked his way up to 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and he's been holding 2nd pretty steady here towards the end of this one. Now he can add the lead to holding steady as he's holding it for now over Tom Cording. You got Al Bunch here slowing up the traffic. It's been a nightmare with lap traffic in the way. But I wouldn't say it's been a total deterrent to the action at the front because we've still had the faster trucks kind of maintain pace and look good here. So it's not like it's been totally unfounded. I mean, yes, the lap traffic is a headache, but everyone has to share the racetrack. And no matter what, Matthew Fastnot might get wronged here by the 31, just like the 90 truck got wronged by the 99 of Daniel Paulus earlier. 31 holding up the pace of the leader, but Fastnot continuing to hold the position over Cording. 31 truck really is not all that slow as they're having, a hard time getting around him. Even though he's 35th multiple laps down. This has allowed for Tyler Shangle to close the gap now in third there. So now we've got a 3-truck battle here with just around 22 laps to go. Yo, Fastnot, if you're, I don't know if you did a thumbs up or not, but you might want to do a thumbs up and mention it in the comments for a boost to this truck, because this truck is on rails right now. Oh no, DeBlanc had a blown engine. No! DeBlanc was having such a good run here tonight. That's a heartbreaker. That's a heartbreaker. Every time we start to see DeBlanc getting good, the Lady Luck has to play her card every time, and usually it's the bad luck card. That's a shame. Man, DeBlanc had a top 10 run and everything, and it doesn't look like we're actually going to get a caution for that one, so they stay green. Stay green for now. Yep, staying green. Man, you just got to feel for Brian DeBlanc, as it seems like no matter what he does, bad luck just follows. Regardless, though, he's had a good start to the season, and I think he's going to be in the points all the way to the end. But this is a stout field, and I think you're going to need a win to qualify for the W chase. As you can see, Matthew Fastnot right now leading the way. Could potentially be winner number 6 on the season. 3 wide, as Tom Cording is not giving him a shot to retaliate here. Some side-by-side contact there. That was some impressive racing that they didn't wreck or anything like that. But now Tom Cording to the lead. Matthew Fastnot back to third. Tyler Shangle in second. But this ain't over. We still got 18 laps to go. And I think this may have just lit a fire under Fastnot. Fastnot's going to be driving angry here with the final closing laps of this one. We'll keep an eye on the pace. And obviously lap traffic is still very prominent right now. 35 truck's going to hold up the 90. I'm trying to see if Fastnot's best buddy, the 99, is anywhere near. Doesn't look like he's going to be a factor, as Daniel Paulus is still mid-pack, not even close to getting back to the leaders. Oh, and Fastnot makes the pass back. Gets back by Tyler Shangle here. Man, I missed a lot as I was skimming through the field. Fastnot is angry. Like I said, lit a fire under this driver. He's ready to go back through and get by that 90 at all costs. And we're still blessed with the fact that this is a 3-truck fight for the win. Good way to end off the race here tonight, as we've got 3 trucks with a healthy shot at winning it. The next couple lap trucks will be the 26 and the 36, so Lucas Holmes and Jamison Thole. Tom Cording, his last lap time was a 29.0. Compare that to Matthew Fastnot with a 29.0. So these guys are running identical laps right now. It can't get any closer than that. 29.083 and a 29.085. Fastnot knows that he's playing the game of cat and mouse here, and Tom Cording is the mouse. He's just waiting until they catch up to the lap traffic, and he's going to make his pounce when it counts the most. There's a lot on the line here. We could see our first repeat winner here on the West Division, or we could see our 6th different winner if it plays out right. Wow, look at Fastnot's got some speed. I don't think I've ever seen a race where it's going to come down to the closing laps like this. This is definitely a classic for the NSSR USA Truck Series, as we have 3 trucks with 11 laps to go. Who will it be? Fastnot keeps closing up on the back of that 90 truck. Ooh, and here we go. Lap traffic in the way. 90 is caught up to the 26 of Thole. Gets alongside Thole, so it doesn't seem to slow him up too much. This will allow Fastnot to get by with relative ease as well. This has been edge of your seat action here at Pikes Peak International Raceway. We have 10 laps to go now. With only 10 laps to go, green flag still out there. No caution, please, no caution. I want to see this race finish under green. Ooh, and Tom Cording stretching the gap now as they got past the lap traffic. Fastnot's going to have at least one more attempt here to try and make things happen. Lucas Holmes is holding up Tom Cording. Cording not making the right moves here as he's stuck behind the 36. Cording slows way up here. Just a quick glance at the rest of the field. It looks like Braden Hunt 4th, Bob Leader 5th, John Hagen 6th, and the rest there, as you can see, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. But it doesn't matter where else they are running. It's the main focus here at the front of the field. 6 laps to go next time by. This is getting harder for Matthew Fastnot to pull off the pass on the lead here. We've got to start to wonder if that 09 truck used up his tires trying to catch up to the 90. 29.4 to a 29.7. These two giving it all they've got, laying it all out on the track here. Truly a David versus Goliath battle if I've seen one here in the USA Trucks. Fastnot fighting for his first win since 2022. Tom Cording looking to go 2 wins on the season here. And then Tyler Shangle just holding serve there in the background. 3rd place, giving that 45 truck a good run. We're down to our final 5 laps here, as lap traffic is not going to be much of a factor now. It's going to be all up to pure horsepower on who can pull off the victory here. 4 to go, 4 laps remaining. Fastnot seems to kind of put together a fast lap and then a slow lap. Fast lap and then a slow lap. Now that Tyler Shangle's kind of catching up to the back bumper of the 09. Tom Cording kicking it up another gear here at the end as he's put a 29.2. Fastnot drops to a 29.6. But here is a roadblock, and they are catching them. 3 laps remain. This could become a factor as you see 3 trucks with no room to make a pass. The lap time's 29.9 to a 29.2. This will become a problem for the 90 truck. Fastnot's just going to have to buckle down and get it here, as the 90 is going to get way slowed up here with 2 laps remaining. It's going to be the white flag this time by. It's going to be, man, this is going to be exciting. One final lap, and it's for all the marbles here, as Fastnot catches up to the back bumper of the 90. He's going to have a shot here on the backstretch. Matthew Fastnot goes low. Lap traffic helping him here like it helped earlier. Getting down on the inside, giving 90 a run for his money, and Matthew Fastnot bumps himself into the lead. Fastnot is going to break his winless streak and win here today at Pikes Peak International Raceway. Coming home second is Tyler Shangle. Third place, Tom Cording. And so there you have it, folks. That I would put down as the best race of the truck season so far, as we had a last lap pass for the win. It may have even been, well, Tom Cording was leading, and Matthew Fastnot did lead some laps earlier, so it was not the only lap led. Wow, what a hell of a victory there. Matthew Fastnot shocks the field, showing a lot of speed all day. Coming from 5th, actually probably even deeper in the field than that, moving through the field with ease. That was an exciting one. I'm glad for everyone that got to tune in and see that, because that was an instant classic here in the USA Trucks. Matthew Fastnot now joins 5 other drivers as eligible for the Dubby Chase. So 6 races and 6 different winners. We have been on a roll here on the West Coast. The West Coast has been an exciting venture. Just like yesterday, I got the East Coast graphic put up. We will have a West Coast graphic to display the playoff picture. And it's going to be a little bit more different than obviously the East Coast has 3 different winners. This one, our West Coast, has 6 different winners. Definitely the best time for Matthew Fastnot to break his winless streak, giving him a free ticket into the chase for the West East Championship. So, okay, it'll take me a minute to actually settle down from that one. That was exciting. And if your heartbeat's not up a little bit, then you probably weren't watching. That goes down as that was perfect. So I'm glad everyone for tuning in. I got a lot of work here to go on tonight, so I can get some stuff cranked out before bed. But yeah, I think that's a wrap for tonight. That was congratulations to Matthew Fastnot, and now we've got 6 different winners in the first 6 races of the West Coast Division. That pales in comparison to the East Coast, where we've had 3 different winners, and especially Tim Cording, who's racked up 3 wins now. So it's just a matter of time before someone gets a repeat win on the West Coast, but I don't know if it's going to happen anytime soon. We might see another Matthew Fastnot-esque finish next week. Who knows? So with that, I bid you adieu. Have a good night, everyone. Stay safe. Get some rest. And enjoy this victory, Matthew Fastnot. It's going to be a huge one. So have a good night, everyone. This is Jakester signing out.